What's going on, fellas? It's Cager, and I am back with another video. Today we're going to be discussing the new Pokemon game set to release for November 16th of this year. Now, if you didn't hear it last week, there's two new Pokemon games set to release on the Nintendo Switch later this year. However, they're not the two games you were expecting or hoping for. Gen 8 isn't still going to come to the Switch. It's going to be at least another year before we see Gen 8. Probably late 2019. I think the Pokemon Company actually made a statement on that. But for now, we have Kanto. Again. Except this time it's based on Pokemon Go. Yeah, I'm not joking. It's easy to see why many fans are concerned about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But maybe everyone's just reacting too quickly. Once you dive deeper into the trailer, you'll find that these games could actually be brilliant. Now, before I go into any details of the trailer, there is a point I want to make. Going back to Kanto is not a terrible idea. Yeah, Kanto has been remade before, but that was back in 2004. Yeah, 14 years ago. That's a long time. It was on the Game Boy Advance. And yeah, it was a big upgrade from the original games, Red and Green, or Red and Blue rather, here in the United States. But it doesn't even compare to like mobile standards nowadays for games. And I get it, like graphics aren't everything. Like obviously, for Pokemon 2, like that's something that's of the least concern to most people. But the big problem here is that I don't want to have to use my GBA. I don't want to have to use a Game Boy Advance. And yeah, I know, guys, Kanto was technically also on the DS because it was part of Gold and Silver and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But I mean like classic Kanto, like original game where you start out, you have Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charizard, or Charmander, and you know, the original experience, not the one that came with Johto, because that really wasn't the same. I'm not trying to like criticize it or anything, but I'm saying that the fact that we're getting another remake of Kanto at this point isn't really that bad because we haven't seen these games for a long time. Even if you do take into consideration Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that's still almost 10 years ago that it's been. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to have a Kanto remake, and this time it's going to be Pokemon Yellow and Eevee. Yeah. But I think it's fine. I'm still excited for this game. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what I have on that piece. I think that maybe in like 5 years or so from now, I wouldn't mind seeing a similar thing like this with Johto. And if they just did this with like all the generations until they caught up. Because if you look at like Gen 2, like its newest game is on the DS. And after a while, the DS is going to be really outdated. And I know that goes to show with every console is going to be outdated eventually. But the Switch is definitely on a different level than a DS, because a DS back at the time was even poor compared to the Wii, which was poor compared to like every other console at that time. So having it be on the Switch, it's going to be relevant for a long time. Its graphics and just the ease of using a Switch to play it, because a lot of people have a Switch. Not a lot of people have like an original Game Boy Advance or like a 3DS, or regular DS rather. Just lying around. And yeah, I guess you can play it on a 3DS, but like, I'd just rather see it on a new console, honestly. But actually going into the gameplay from the trailer, there's a lot that I'd like to talk about. So we could see that wild Pokemon battles are a thing of the past, or at least they just won't be appearing this time around. I don't know whether or not it'll be in Gen 8. It probably will be. They'll probably stick to the original formula, because fans will not be happy if they don't. But wild Pokemon encounters are almost identical to Pokemon Go this time around, which has been very controversial. Now, it's great for newer players because they could easily dive right in. Coming from Pokemon Go, it's basically the same way to catch them. But for many longtime Pokemon fans, this is bound to be a disappointment. But trainer battles are here to stay, and we could see players engaging in traditional trainer battles in the trailer. And no, it's not like the Pokemon Go gym or raid battles. We actually get to see them choose from 4 attacks in a turn-based format, basically the same as every other Pokemon game out there. So that's great. That's a big plus. I'm happy to see that trainer battles are still intact as they originally were in the game. So I don't think there's too much to worry about here. Now, the only thing that I'm a little bit curious about is to see how we'll be able to grind for XP now that wild battles aren't a thing anymore. Does that mean you could redo trainer battles? Are there going to be more trainer battles? Do they just give you more XP? There's a lot of unanswered questions we have in that. But I don't think this is a terrible idea for the game anyway, because a lot of people are annoyed by wild battles too, and they're just walking around. And I've heard rumors that there will be no Pokemon in the grass anymore, that you'll actually be able to see them walking around, so you won't just get like surprise random battles. I don't know if that's the case, because we can kind of see Pokemon walking around in the overworld in the trailer, but it hasn't been confirmed yet, like whether or not they can appear randomly. So I don't know. We'll have to wait till the game comes out, or till we get further confirmation here about that. But this game, obviously, this is a game that's based on newcomers. Like, they're looking for people who played Pokemon Go, maybe, or maybe played like a couple of the old games to try and get them into the franchise. And I think this is a great gateway Pokemon experience, because thanks to a brand new feature we've never seen before, there's going to be a second player element in this. Now, in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, a second player will be able to join at any point in time. We could see this in the trailer. A second player just joins in the middle of the game, and they have their own trainer character, and they can roam around the overworld too. And the battle system gets changed to double battles to accommodate the two players. And that's really great. Like, this is excellent on Nintendo. Because the Switch, since it's a hybrid console, when you're in docked mode and you're just playing on the TV, it's a great addition to be able to have a second player. The fact that they could join at any time too makes it great for getting new people into Pokemon as well. Because once the game releases, I'll probably end up playing it with both my roommate and my girlfriend at different points. And neither of them are really into Pokemon, but like, they could just join at any time and just play for a little bit. Like, that's great, and it's a great way to get people into the series, get people hyped about it, who really didn't care as much before. For me, I think it's great because it's the perfect college dorm room experience, but for many other people in other situations, like, I could see it working good as well. It's going to be great for Nintendo because they're going to get a lot of new people into Pokemon, and I know a lot of you guys are probably not really concerned about that, and you just want your traditional Pokemon experience. And that's okay, because that is coming next year, so it's really not that much more time. As we've seen in the past, there's been a lot of times where Game Freak has just taken a break, and for 1 year, like, no Pokemon game will come out at all. Like, it's usually right before the next generation, there's just a year without a Pokemon game. This time around, instead of having no Pokemon game the year before, we get this remake of Pokemon Yellow instead, that's kind of reimagined and made for a more casual audience. So I think it's better than having nothing, absolutely. And with this new multiplayer feature, it's actually something I'm pretty excited about to come out and get to play with people. But let me know what you guys think. Like, do you agree with this whole, like, two-player mechanic? Do you agree with the Pokemon Go style? I know there's also going to be trading with Pokemon Go. So that's kind of interesting. But I think it's only the original 151. You can't actually trade any Pokemon from other generations into it. So, yeah, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit different. But I think it's still going to be a really fun game, and I'm excited to get my hands on it. So, yeah, guys, I guess that's going to be it. If you enjoyed the video, please rate accordingly. It really helps me out. And if you want to stay up to date on future uploads, I'm going to be covering a lot of Smash 5 information. I'm doing a series right now analyzing new contenders' chances of joining the roster. So if you want to see that, see who has a chance of getting into the game, you can watch that playlist. I'll have a link there. And if you want to stay up to date on Black Ops 4 information too, I have that going on right now. So yeah, a lot of stuff going into E3 I'm going to be covering. So click the subscribe button. If you want to stay up to date, I know YouTube sub boxes have been working kind of weird recently. So you could either click the bell notification thing. You click the bell icon, it gives you notifications. You could have it be on your phone or whatever to be notified when I upload new videos. Or if you would rather join my Discord chat, you can come on the chat. I'll have a video feed with all my newest uploads, and we could even chat and maybe play some games sometime. So yeah, I think it's great. You should get Discord. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Hope you're having a wonderful day. This is Cager, and I will see you in the next one.